KNAC.com, the loudest.com on the planet. Junkman with you guys doing a special Wednesday show today. I am honored, absolutely honored today to welcome our guest, somebody that we've wanted to be. Can you guess? Can you absolutely guess? It's the Prince of Darkness himself, an old friend, Ozzy Osbourne. Welcome to KNAC.com,
Good to be here,
my friend.
sir. Good to be here.
So glad you could make it, man.
But the last time I came to the studio, it was in a different location, wasn't it?
Right.
Long Beach.
Yeah, it was in Long Beach, which was the original radio station that we had.
I was told that it folded it up a long time ago.
Yeah, quite a while ago. How many years ago was that?
Off
When it went off the air, was it? What was it?
February 95.
February of '95 is when it went off, and then we went back on as a online radio station right after that. So
How long have you been here?
we've been at this particular studio about 4 or 5 years. Hasn't it been something like that? Yeah, maybe longer than that.
Why haven't
but,
you asked me down before?
You're a hard man to find, man. You're a busy guy, an absolutely busy guy. You know?
Oh yeah, I live out in Hidden Hills now.
Uh-huh.
Cause after the TV episode we had in my career,
Mm-hmm.
in the early parts of the decade there. Was it 2001, 2002?
Oh, yeah.
It got kind of crazy around here. So
I would imagine.
So we kind of, I mean, you know, the tour buses used to come around and jump the wall, walk around the house, and crazy, man. People used to think they had the right to walk in your house, you know.
Exactly. Well, you got to throw a ham at him like your lovely wife did.
We went to Haddon Hill. I bought my studio there, and I did some work there.
Uh-huh.
I did a latest new album, Scream.
You've been so busy with that too. Congratulations too on a great record too, brand new record.
Thank you.
Called Scream.
It took like 18 months to do it, not continuous, because I did the book whilst I was doing the album.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went back to England to do some promotion, and then I came back to the American promotion. Then I came back to the album, and it was like on and off, you know. But and it was basically done with me and Kevin Shurko, my producer, in the studio of my house, which I thought was going to be an experience. It was.
Well, I would imagine, yeah.
But it was a different way of doing albums than I usually do. I usually get the band rehearsing in some place,
Right.
get some songs going, and go in the studio, and which I didn't do that on this album. It was kind of like a studio experiment.
Just did it in the studio itself as
Yeah,
opposed to, yeah. That's great.
And the new guitar player, Gus G,
Gus G.
he's working out great. I just hope people, when they come to the Arts Festival with the gigs, give him a fair crack of it, because he ain't Zach. He isn't trying to be Zach, because no one can be Zach but Zach.
Absolutely. Well, he's Gus. I mean, we've been all about Firewind, his band, for years now here at KNAC.com. And I can't think of a better guy to play with you right now, man.
He's really good.
got it going
The
on.
new drummer Tommy I got.
Tommy How do you pronounce that? Clufados or Clufados?
I don't know. I just call him Tommy K. I mean.
Tommy K. Yeah, well there you go. Or Tommy C. You know. And he's
a great
brings it
drummer.
on.
Great. We just went to Europe and England and Europe. We did a few shows there.
Uh-huh.
A lot of fun.
You did a promotion here in Los Angeles too, which I saw your show at the House of Blues a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The day the record was in, it was very interesting. You guys did the record release, and then fans that went and waited at the record store got to get a ticket to go see you that night.
There was a crowd because there ain't more record stores anywhere else, you know.
So you went to Amoeba Records in Hollywood and did that.
It's really sad to see that. I mean, in my lifetime, I've seen albums turn to tapes to CDs, CDs to iPods, to no records.
Right. With no place to get them other than a great big store with the guy that doesn't know what he's talking about.
The way I made this album was all digital on a Pro Tools studio I have in my house, which is I've had platinum disc, gold disc somewhere over the years. I wonder what they'll do now when they sell 1 million records, but a platinum wire on the wall.
Probably something like that. You know, you just touch one button, your record's done after that, you know?
It's crazy. The fun's kind of gone. It's too clinical now, you know?
Is it really? I was going to ask you about that.
On the next album I do, it's going to be balls to the wall, you know?
Yeah, in terms of?
Studio stuff.
Like,
time for me.
You're going to do it old school style then?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely,
huh? Well, you got the tour to go on with this. You brought back Ozfest again.
Oh, yeah. Well, people said, well, why only 7 shows or 6 shows, whatever it is? We took a couple of years off, and in those couple of years, there's been some more festivals born, you know.
Right.
So we didn't want to put like blanket the country, and I'd end up with like 4 cows and a parrot in a field, you know. And so
We got a great lineup, man. This lineup on this thing is amazing.
I mean, it's the first time me and Motley have been on the same stage since 1984.
And you'll be able to remember it this time about, I would imagine.
People forever say to you, "Oh, did you really snort a line of bands?" It's very possible. It's whatever I snorted on that tour. I mean, it was a wild tour.
Was that the most? Was that absolutely?
It's the most memorable tour.
So probably.
I mean, it was either me coming out of jail at 6 in the morning after being arrested for drunk in a public place, or one of them. I remember being in Memphis,
Right.
and I'd been in Benihana's. The last I remember was being in these Benihana's, drinking sake out of a soup bowl. The next minute I know, headlights are flying past me, and I'm going, pitch black, and I'm going, where the hell am I? And I'm feeling through the dark, and I'm on a freeway, I realise, somewhere. I put my hand on his car, take a pee, and this blue light on the top goes, woo! And this policewoman goes, when you finish shaking that thing, your ass is going to jail. And I'm going, oh, no. So I come out of jail at 6 in the morning after being in this cell with 2 African-American guys all night and eating peanuts and peanut butter sandwiches and shit coffee. And there's Tommy Lee on his tour bus outside with all these, I can see him in my mind's eye now, all these sets of bras and panties in their bus and chicks, you know. I said, go away, you know. It was just wild, man. I can
imagine.
But I don't think there's going to be a repeat because we all change. I mean, Nicky lives very close to me, and he doesn't drink or I don't drink or get loaded anymore.
Well, so it's going to be a whole new experience for you guys. You'll probably be able to enjoy it a lot more, I would imagine.
It didn't take. The alcohol and drugs were after the show. We didn't go and get stoned on the stage much. At least I didn't.
No, but I mean,
but afterwards, it was all balls to the wall. You know, I mean, them guys like to party. You know,
they certainly did. But this time around, you got a bunch of newer bands as well, too. You know, like in Ozfest Past. Not only do you got yourself and Motley, you've also got Rob Halford and his solo band on there.
Rob's
too.
a great singer. And I wish him all. I wish his new project all the success he can get.
But
he's a great friend of mine, Rob. He's a good guy. I mean, he's not that great, but he's a pretty close friend.
He's been a visitor over here too. There was a very famous story about when he came in here the last time. He tripped over a wire and he knocked us all out for about an hour. We didn't have any sound, any video or anything. He tripped over one of these wires over here. But
he's got a powerful voice. I mean,
there
was a time when Sabbath were going to do a slot on one. I think one of my concerts in California years ago, and Ronnie couldn't make it for whatever reason. And so Rob stood in for him, and he did a great job. Got a great voice, Robert.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, he's the metal god, as they call him. You know, although I would imagine you could kind of argue with him a little bit about that.
I mean, Rob's from the same town, from the same country. What am I going to say?
He's an old.
Talking about Ronnie, it wasn't that sad that he passed.
Oh my God, that was the saddest thing.
You know, people. Doing radio interviews, and people go, well, so will the Serbs be getting back together? You know, it's a very good possibility, but it's nothing to take from the fact that Ronnie was a great singer, and we sadly missed. And when we found out he was suffering from cancer, like when Sharon got diagnosed with colon cancer a few years ago, we didn't know what to do. So I said to my wife, I said, we got to contact them. And I just sent a message on it. If anything we can do, because we know some people that can help and whatever, just call us. And then I met Vinny and one of them rock and roll black carpet deals. And I told Vinny, and the next thing I know, he'd passed away. But you know, it sucked. You know, at the funeral. Did you see that at the funeral? There was,
I was there.
When the people, religious freaks were
down at the bottom.
I mean, you ask me if they say we're satanic. What the fuck is that all about?
Exactly. Well, you know what? That's luckily for us and the people that attended the funeral. They really weren't there for very long. I was really proud.
But the fact that they were there in the first place.
Exactly.
But, I mean, come on, man.
I know.
And Phil Ronnie wasn't there to defend himself, and I said whatever they think about me, if I'd have been there, I'd have said fucking something. And I was told I couldn't go to the police were protecting them. Freedom of speech.
Yeah, no, that's
I
the
would have said
saddest part.
some fucking thing. I would have had to.
Oh, you still
But
can.
I mean, I didn't go to the funeral not because I didn't want to, it was because I didn't think it was the right thing to do. You know.
Yeah. Well, it was a very sad affair. Simply
you know,
because there
I
was
mean,
so much love in the room that was there that
everybody thinks that me and Ronnie James were at war.
No.
I mean, I suppose I was a bit pissed off 30 years ago when I got booted out of the band and he replaced me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what the fuck have I got to be pissed off with Ronnie James?
Exactly. He was
He was a great singer. He was a great talent. I mean, there's so many singers out there owe their career to him and his style.
But even bigger, even just a nice guy. He always treated you like you were the biggest thing in the room whenever he talked to you, and that's what I loved about him.
He was one of the guys, you know.
Yes, certainly was.
One of the warriors.
Certainly was, and a funny guy too.
Yeah, I never really hung out. I've met him a bunch of times, but I didn't really hang out with him because wasn't the right thing to do.
I definitely had the pleasure to hang out with him, and I know that he touched your bandmates a lot too. He was very close with Tony and with Geezer.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and
he was with them longer than I was.
Really?
I mean, I was only with them for 10 years.
Yeah.
He had 12 years. He was with them for like 30 years.
Well, come to think of it, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. Now, did you touch on any of that for a particular part? I've read about a quarter so far of your book, I Am Ozzy. I've gotten to the point right now, right where you guys have gotten to the point where you're starting to change your name to Black Sabbath. So I haven't gotten up to that part.
I mean, you know what?
That.
The early stages of any musical project that I've been on has been the best because you got everything to gain and nothing to lose. Because you know, if you shit or bust, if you make it, you do. You know. I mean, Black Sabbath was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life because we weren't like some band that was some business mogul from London or someone who said, "Oh no, a guitar player from Birmingham, a singer from Manchester."
Right.
And we were four guys. I went to the same school as Tony, although we never hung out much.
In Aston.
And we all had an idea, and it was. I mean, I've said this a lot. Since leaving Black Sabbath, I've played those Black Sabbath songs with some great bands, some great musicians, but there ain't nobody plays it like the four of us. No. It's just a spirit, it's just a vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when it's good, bad, or not so good, or whatever. I don't have to turn around, you know. I mean, Tony Iommi is the greatest riff man of all time.
Yeah.
I think he's right up there with all the greats, you know.
Sure. And he's got his own sound, and nobody can recreate that.
I've often said to him, "How the fuck can you know where your fingers are? You play with prosthetic fingers."
Right. It's got the ends of it chopped up.
He's amazing. He's one of these guys that you give him any instrument, you know, he won't. In a few days, he'll have something come out of it. Mm-hmm. He might be the greatest, but he's one of these guys that goes, "Oh, I'm going to play that."
You mentioned in the book that you would notice that, like when the first time that you saw him when you were in school, that you noticed that this guy really had, more talent than anybody else around.
Tony Iommi was get on the air. Fuck off. Get on the air.
So anyway, they had you noticed that when he was young, that he had an enormous amount of talent.
He used to come to school with his guitar and he'd play it. No, the teachers would get pissed off.
Really?
I mean, I wasn't that interested in being in a band at that point. Mm-hmm. But then I was like so sunk into the Beatles and
absolutely.
The whole. It wasn't the fact that people say, "How can you get from the Beatles to the Black Sabbath?" And it was just the magic. I thought that's my way out. You know, the best thing I ever got bought from my father was a PA system. It got me gigs because if you put on your advert in the shop, Ozzy Osbourne. I used to go on. I had an advert going. I changed my name from Osbourne to Zig.
Ozzy Zig.
It'd be Ozzy Zig needs gig. Mm-hmm. I got my own PA, and people started coming around to my house.
It's funny. Start knocking right on the door and answering. Yeah, it's me. I'm Ozzy Zig. And look where we are now, man.
I mean, it's been a great journey, man.
Yeah, it's been amazing too.
Then there was Randy Rhoads.
Who knew that? Well, absolutely. That's basically what did it all. What got you in the solo.
I mean, Randy was somebody so special,
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you find Randy?
Well, a guy called Dana Strummer used to be the bass player with Slaughter.
Right.
He was my first choice as a bass player, but then it didn't work out between me and him. But he introduced me to Randy, which I'm forever indebted to him for. Because Randy was one of the best things that ever happened. Like with Sabbath, they would go, we'd all get a few beers, a few whatever, smoke this and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just jam, and I'd put my vocals on their riffs and things. But Randy was he come from his mother's teaching school, and he used to had a bit of a teaching vibe.
Right.
And so he would say, no, it would be better if you sang it in this key. And so I thought, wow, he's working with me. I mean, so, but I've never learned to play an instrument. And a few people have said, you know, if you do learn to play an instrument, you'll probably lose what you have.
Well, Randy, though, he was more, like I said, he was like you said, he was a teacher,
yeah.
and he was constantly working on his guitar and basically nothing else.
You know, on the night before he got killed, we were in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I can forever see him in this. I have a photograph of it somewhere. He was wanting to get classical. He wanted to be classically trained.
Right. And
every day off, which weren't very many, we do like double back to back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have a classical lesson in his room. And I go, why don't you take a fucking day off and get to have a few beers and? But he was just a dedicated guy, you know.
Absolutely. And a profound influence on you for.
He was. I mean, those first two albums were special with him.
Absolutely. I got to see that tour. It was the first show on the second half of your first tour. I saw it in New Haven, Connecticut, and Def Leppard was the opening.
Yeah.
So I went. I absolutely got to see you guys do that, and I got to see Black Sabbath in 1976,
wow.
which was kind of cool for me. I remember that story simply because I've told this story on the air before. I was in trouble that day. I was a teenager, and my mom had locked me and told me to stay in the house, and I wanted to go to the show. I had tickets for the show, and I jumped off the roof into my brother's car, went, and the last thing I remember was seeing my mom coming down the driveway and yelling at me, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to see Black Sabbath." She goes, "You're not going to go see any Black Savages." So since then, it's been like the Black Savages.
I mean, the 70s. I mean, people go, "What do I think of heavy metal today?"
Mm-hmm.
It's what it is. It's not the fact that it's heavy metal or whatever.
Right.
It's a movement we're all in. It's like the
Exactly.
70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now the new millennium. It's completely different musically.
Big time. But so much of it is based on the old Black Sabbath stuff. If you notice.
But you know what? I mean, when people started to come to me at the Ozfest and go, you know. We're not worthy and all this stuff, you know. I just think they were winding me up, you know. Because when we did our stuff, we never had any idea that 30 years up the road, people would be looking at it as being a mentor, you know. I mean, but that's the way it turned out, and believe me, I'm not putting it down. I mean, it was great, you know. I mean.
Well, your life has been so much like that. There's been so many things that have must have blown your mind the way that they've happened and have gotten
but
so
you know
big.
What, the weirdest thing that when you reach 60, the word retirement comes in, and I go,
right.
Okay, I'm an artist. If I was a painting artist, would you say stop painting masters now?
No.
So, fuck them.
You're gonna keep singing.
I mean, I want to die up there. I do.
On the stage.
I'm sold it, man. I'm out there.
That would be a fitting way to go.
I
don't want to see that.
I mean, we're all getting a bit older now. But
right.
I don't feel that I want to retire. I mean, I always said that if no one wants to listen to me, if I can't do it and nobody turns up, I've got to be a dummy to carry on anyway. But what am I going to do? Sit down and remember when I was in rock and roll, you know?
Now tell me something. Did you feel that way when you were fired from Black Sabbath the first time, and then Sharon kind of?
I mean, Black Sabbath was the first big break I ever had in my life, and then when I got fired from Sabbath, I thought I was just a singer with a band. I didn't think I had anything to. I didn't think anyone was interested. And then when Sharon came round to the Park Hotel on West Knoll, I never went out for months. Just stayed in my room, getting drunk and just doing things I shouldn't.
Right.
And just live it. I never opened the drapes for 3 months. And he said, if you clean yourself up, we want to manage you. And I went, what? Then I met Dana, then I met Randy, and then it went on from there, you know.
So, but she saw something. She saw something worth saving.
She was telling me a lot of people were. I had no idea because, you know, I used to just do my thing, you know. I didn't. In Black Sabbath, I mean, we were all starved from the truth anyway by the management who was ripping us off. I mean, you know, so we never thought we were any good, any popular. We knew we'd sell a few things out, like a California Jam and all them things, but we never realised how big we really were.
Well, it's turned out that way, my friend. Believe me, it's the
But
top of the...
I remember being at the park hotel. I peeped to one day. It's about 7 in the evening. I can hear Iron Man. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here? And a guy comes across the room was playing it on his record player.
And he went, "That's me."
No, I just went, wow. Do people really play our records?
Absolutely. Well, speaking of records, man, we got this brand new one right here, and it's called Scream.
What's the first track?
Let Me Hear You Scream?
No, the first track.
Let It Die?
Yeah.
Let It Die? Tell us about that track.
It's kind of a twist on where it's like, I'm everything, you are me, I am you.
Okay.
It's just a play on words. I like playing around with words, you know. I'm a rock star, I'm a leader, I'm a soldier, it's just opposites. Very interesting.
We're going to let the listeners listen to it. We're going to take a little break and come back with Mr. Ozzy Osbourne himself. Relax and sit there for a bit. Have a drink over there. We're going to answer some questions from the chat room over here, too. We've got our KNAC.com chat room over here at the same sort of time.
Let's answer some questions next.
Sure, let's do that. So, first off, let's play this track. It's the lead-off track for Ozzy Osbourne's Scream, the brand new CD. I hope you got it. It's on Epic Records. You can get it over here in the KNAC.com More store. So crank this up right now. We'll be back with the one and only Ozzy Osbourne in just a moment. Crank it. It's KNAC.com, theloudest.com. Ozzy Osbourne CD, that's Let It Die. Nice work, my friend.
Thank you.
Very well done. I want people to go out and get this CD. I want people to go to Ozfest. Now, there's a website, ozfest.com, where people can find out more information about it, but it's a great big lineup. I want them to get the book, I Am Ozzy. It's a terrific read. Like I said, I've started reading it maybe a week ago.
A heavy metal icon made #2 on the bestseller.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's a lot of fun. It's not all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. There's a lot of humor in the book,
It does too, and it's written in your language, which I really like. It's in the Birmingham speak, so to speak. And I really enjoyed that because I'm learning a lot of new terms, on how to speak to somebody from there. So the next time I see you, maybe I'll have a couple of the Alright and oi and all the rest of that sort of stuff. I can do the around the pub. I'll go down the pub and all the rest of the other things too. So
let's answer a couple of questions.
Okay, let's do that. We got the KNAC.com chat room over here. And I got a bunch of people. Somebody wanted to know what your favorite tour memories when Black Sabbath was touring in the 70s.
What was that?
Pick one. Somebody wanted to know what was one of your favorite tour memories when Black Sabbath was touring in the 70s. Somebody wanted to know that.
I remember the first. Is that what's one of my favorite Black Sabbath
memories of touring in the 70s?
I remember Bill Ward the first time we were going on Concord for the very first time. And he used to drink cider. But cider in England is like a real, like a bum's drink, really. It's a really cheap way of getting loaded. And he came to the airplane with 2 plastic bags with cider. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I don't have this on the plane." So he got on the plane drinking cider all the way over. And it's Mach 2.2 speed.
And he enjoyed himself on the Concord, I would imagine.
We were pirates in those days. So many memories, anyway, of Sabbath.
Somebody else wants to know about your other guitar players. Obviously, you keep in touch with Zach. Zach is here. They want to know if you keep in touch with Joe Holmes and maybe any of the other ex-guitar players that you played with.
I haven't seen Jakey Lee or spoken to him since the day he left.
Yeah, Jakey Lee.
And it wasn't my fault they left. The other two plotted against him and turned me against him. It was a long time ago anyway. Joe Holmes, when I did that thing on Sunset last year, what was that? That closed Sunset down for...
Yeah, the Sunset Music Festival.
Joe Holmes was there, and he's got married, he's got a baby.
Uh-huh.
I don't think she's a baby now, but he's a good, all right, he's friendly.
That was a lot of fun watching you play out in the middle of Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, it was fun. That was good fun, yeah.
And that was the first time that we got to see Gus G with you, too, which was awesome.
Gus, I mean, all I hope, I've said it before, just give him a chance. He's a good little player.
He's a damn good player. Like I said, Firewind, his band, has been a part of KNAC for a long time. So, our own DJ Will wants to know, you co-produced with Kevin Churko. What did you each contribute beyond the songwriting?
Well, Kevin, I'm not one of these guys that can rush in a studio. He's one of these techno guys that, not techno, he's one of these guys who's got the patience of old Nick. He'll sit there with a cymbal sound for 4 days and get the right sound. But I'm not one of them guys. He's a very good guy at working these computer things. I'm computer. I just bought a laptop, believe it or not, and an iPod, an iPad, and all that pod, whatever the fuck it's all about now. I'm going to try and learn a bit, but I can't work the studio at the desk like he can.
Right.
And he's good at his help. Yeah, I need someone to bounce off anyway. I don't play an instrument, so I can bounce off people,
One last question I have for you is, what's going to be next for Ozzy after Ozfest and the book?
Well, they're making a movie at the book.
I've been told about that. Can you talk at all about that?
The people are asking me, who would I like to play me?
I'll do it.
Denzel Washington, I think.
Denzel Washington would be perfect. I was thinking,
no, it's I don't know. I haven't got that much to do. My wife dealing all with that. It'll be done eventually if it's going to get done at all. But there's that. There's another. Could be possibly another book. I don't know when or what. I'm probably going to call it I Am Still Ozzy.
I'm still Ozzy and I'm still alive.
I'm going to do another album, of course, and just touring. I'm going on a 1.5-year tour, and it's very, very possible that the original Sabbath are going to finally do the ultimate Sabbath album.
That would be wonderful.
And we're going to do a tour, I think. But when, I don't know. I'll never. I spoke to Bill Ward yesterday, and we both say we never say never anymore.
That's good. That's good. That's always been my motto. Never say never. You know? A lot of people say, you're never going to get to meet Ozzy. Look at this. I'm meeting Ozzy right now. I'm very happy.
So listen, I've got to get out of here.
Okay, my friend. We're going to play one more track off the CD of your choice. Absolutely. Any one that you want. Would you like to hear the Let Me Hear You Scream or any of the other ones?
Digging Me Down.
Digging Me Down. Tell us about that track, too. It's got something to do...
It's not an anti-Christ thing. What it is about is like, let's say the guy's going to come back to this place and save us all.
Resurrect.
But I'm like going, how bad's it got to get before this guy comes back? And if he comes back, will we believe him?
That's as good as any reason to write a song about, I would imagine, too, because it's been a question with everybody else for millions of years, I would imagine. So, well done. Ozzy, I can't thank you enough for coming down here to the studio.
My pleasure. I've got to come back here again one time.
Absolutely. You are always welcome. The door is always open for you, my friend.
Okay,
believe me, do that.
Take care.
KNAC.com, theloudest.com on the planet. Brand new from
See you at Ozfest, guys.
Be at Ozfest, Ozzy. Was that cool or what? That was awesome. Oh, my God. Junkman with you guys on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Another one in the bucket list has been filled. A drop in the bucket list. My thanks to Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, the man himself, for coming by and just being so candid with us, man. Just what a great guy. Just kind of talked, and he liked to talk about what he wanted to talk to. When he was ready, he just, he was ready to go, and it was just great. But the brand new CD, of course, it's called Scream. We've got Ozfest coming up to a town near you, so go to ozfest.com. Check out his book, I Am Ozzy, which is just a really, really great read. It's just awesome. And it's in Ozzy's language. You could tell it's actually him talking. And it's not just some ghostwriter coming up with what he thinks Ozzy means. It's actually from Ozzy's own words. So he's got other things coming up. There's going to be a documentary on him that he's talking about, and a few other things, too. An actual movie based on this particular book. And just there's a lot of stuff. So my hat goes off to the great Ozzy Osbourne, and thanks a lot for coming down here to KNAC.com. And you guys for listening. Thanks to the listeners that sent in questions. We only could take a couple of them. We really had just a limited amount of time to do so. But nonetheless, the great Oz has visited KNAC.com. And tell you what, the last thing he said was, I'll be back. So he's coming back to come and visit us again in the future. So we will let you know. Check out the brand new CD on the KNAC.com More store. Once again, it's called Scream. So check it out.